Hi, my name is Melva McCahan, and I'm a paralegal technology student here at Fayetteville Technical Community College. Today I'll be doing a persuasive speech on should institutions that profited from slavery provide reparations. By the end of my speech, my audience will be able to understand that by providing reparations from institutions that profited from slavery is a vital step towards creating a more equitable and just future for all Americans. Since the United States economic domination was primarily established on the backs of enslaved people, the organizations that profited from these exploitations are required to make amends to close the racial divide and advance true equality. They made us into machines, and now they run on the fuel that we gave them. What if your family's generational wealth was erased before it ever began because your ancestors was treated as property? What if the very institutions that denied them freedom now boast billion-dollar endowments? Wouldn't you want justice? Now, picture yourself as a descendant of those who were slaves, still dealing with the fallout as those same organizations prosper without any accountability. This is not a lesson in history. It is a reality of the modern era. Numerous American organizations, including large banks, insurance corporations, and Ivy League universities, benefited greatly from slavery. Slavery was not just a Southern institution. It was a national source of money for over 250 years. Northern banks provided funding for slave plantations. Ivy League universities used enslaved labor and took contributions from slaveholders. Insurance companies wrote policies on slaves as property. Because of slavery, these groups not only survived, but thrived, with endowments worth billions of dollars, and several of these same institutions are now globally renowned. Meanwhile, the descendants of enslaved people continue to face systemic barriers to wealth, education, and opportunity. The legacy of slavery endured after independence and still shapes our culture today. For this reason, I'm adamant that organizations that benefited from slavery must pay reparations, not only to acknowledge their history, but to actively address the harm that still exists today. We'll start by examining the ways in which slavery directly benefited institutions. Second, I'll discuss how racial inequality is still shaped by the legacy of past exploitation. Lastly, I will discuss